Most of the money saving tips videos on YouTube use 5 to 15 items and they say the same thing. If you're interested in my 50 top ways to save money and you want to hear some unique ideas you haven't heard before, then stay tuned because all that's coming up next. Checking in for part 2 of my video series of 50 ways that you can save money. And I tried to make as many of them as unique as possible because like I said in my intro, a lot of the videos on YouTube say the same thing. So let's go ahead and get down to business. This is items 26 through 50. Number 26 of my list. Use your junk email. Like I have an email I call my junk email, and that's where I send if I want to sign up for something because I'm going to get a discount or whatever, but I don't want them sending me all their promotional junk to my main email. I have one email that I specifically use for that kind of stuff. I would recommend that for you. And if you sign up for certain rewards programs with different restaurants or retail establishments and you register your birthday, you actually get freebies on your birthday. 27. This is a cool one that a lot of people don't know about. When I was in college and I was a single mom and I was trying to make enough money to make ends meet, I would sell clothing lots online on eBay. And I would actually go to thrift stores and garage sales and I would get entire outfits and wardrobes. And then I had like a mannequin and I had lights and I would take pictures with the entire outfit, you know, the shirt and the pants and the jewelry and a purse. And I would sell entire wardrobes to women. And so you could get an entire wardrobe of used items for like under $200. This is a great way to shop if you are in the middle of a weight loss journey or if you're pregnant. Situations where you don't want to spend a ton of money on this like capsule wardrobe of really nice items because you're not going to be able to wear those clothes for very long. This is a great way to have clothes that fit you during that time period while you're transitioning and you don't spend a lot of money on the clothes. Number 28, get things repaired rather than getting rid of them. Purses, clothes, shoes, jewelry, all these kinds of things, if they break or get worn out a little bit, there's ways that you can get them repaired and not have to buy new ones. A lot of girls, if their necklace were to break a little bit, they might just get rid of the necklace, but you'd be surprised how easy it is to fix jewelry even yourself. Or my shoes, I'll take them to a shoe repair shop and I'll get new tips put on or I'll get a new sole put on or get something stitched back together and I'm able to extend the life of that item. Number 29, hire a babysitter rather than daycare. I used to put my daughter in daycare and when she was really little, it was like $800 to $1,000 a month. That's so crazy. And then even when she got to what they call school age, she was still, you know, $500 plus, you know, maybe dollars a month, and it's very, very expensive. So what I did is there are some family friends of ours and they have a teenage girl who is homeschooled and you know, is looking to make extra money. She's a really sweet girl, very responsible, and I approached them and asked if she would be interested in being like a nanny for me, essentially. They live very near me, so I drop my daughter off at their house in the morning. They take her to and from school, and then I pick her up on my way home. And it feels like a second family to her. And I get to pay this teenage girl a lot less money than I would be paying a daycare center. I save so much money. Only downside you should be aware of is that unless they have like a business license, and that's maybe what they do for a living, then you won't be able to write that daycare expense off on your taxes. And for some of you, maybe that's a big write-off. For me, I weighed the cost and it made more sense for me to go ahead and have the decreased daycare expenses and forego the tax write-off. Number 30, get clothes altered down. When you do lose weight, if you have some expensive items that you love and they fit you really well, don't just get rid of it. Go ahead, find a good seamstress. I have a great one and she has such reasonable prices. And I can, for maybe $10 or $12, get something taken in that I love. It looks great on me, and $10 or $12 is better than another $60 or $80 or something for a new dress. So definitely find a good seamstress and get your clothes altered down. Number 31, if you have some type of national park or like maybe a water park or a place that you frequent often, get the pass, get the season pass, get the annual pass. You know, it might be a lot of money up front, but if this is a place that you would frequent anyways, you're gonna save so much money in the long run by buying that season or annual pass. Number 32, this is a huge one. Do meal prepping, make your food at home, take your lunch to work. You will save so much money. If you're buying lunch every day, that could be anything from $5 to $15, and that adds up. Or if you're getting takeout at home, not only are these foods not going to be very healthy for you, but you are going to spend so much money. I used to spend hundreds of dollars a month on fast food and going out to eat, and all that money was just going down the drain. When you make food at home, and you're going to likely eat better, and you're going to save so much money. Number 33, reuse old containers. If you've watched any of my videos on making homemade natural products, I talk a lot about that. And so, when I'm making all these things homemade, I have to have things to put them in. Or sometimes you may just finish using up a product and the container is great, and you can think outside the box and find a way to reuse that container for somewhere in your household. Buying containers for home organization is super expensive, so don't buy those containers new. Reuse ones you've already paid for. Number 34, this is something I did a lot while I was single too, because I just wanted to make friends, people that like the same things as me. I was trying to, meet someone to date and find a partner in life. So I went to meetup.com and I joined a lot of clubs. If you have a hobby or an interest, I can almost guarantee you there's a meetup club for it. So check out meetup.com, just search for different clubs that you might be interested. I joined a ton of like hiking clubs and poetry clubs, things like that, things that I'm interested in, and it's completely free. And they have meetups where you go and you're with like-minded people who are there to just have fun and learn, and it's always a positive experience. I've never had a negative experience on one of these meetups. So check that out if you're looking for free fun. Number 35, buy generic when you can. If you actually read the labels of the ingredients in most products, and you compare the generic version with the brand name version, they are identical. Now, sometimes I'll admit there are some products that I will not buy generic because the brand name is simply better. But there are a ton of things that you can buy the generic version, like especially medications. If you're buying a lot of, pain reliever, maybe you get a lot of headaches or something, then don't buy the brand name because it's usually like double the price of the generic. The generic version of Excedrin that I use, it does the exact same thing. Number 36, when getting gifts for friends and family, make your own homemade gifts and just get creative. Think outside the box. You can make little beauty product packages where you give them some homemade sugar scrub and some homemade soap or some homemade bath salts. Girls love that stuff. And rather than going and spending $10, $15 per item that you want to put in that basket, make it homemade. It adds a personal touch and it saves a ton of money. One thing that I've loved doing for people, I like to embroider, so I've made monogrammed pillowcases. People love that. It's such a personal touch. Number 37, buy produce from a farmer's co-op or from your local farm. There is a farmer's co-op called Bountiful Baskets that I use. I have to go in on Monday or Tuesday and order my food for the following Saturday, and then Saturday morning I go pick it up, and you can pay a little bit more and get an all organic basket, but they give you all the produce items that are in season, and it's always fun because you don't know what you're gonna get until you get it. And so during certain times of the year, you'll get specialty seasonal items, and it's really fun to get the basket and think about for the next week what you want to make. You can bake something or cook something based around the produce that you got in that week's basket. Also, local farms, you get to go pick your own food. It's delicious. It's usually huge, wonderful produce, something that you would not find at the grocery store, and you're going to save a lot of money. Number 38, stop paying ATM fees. Every time you go to an ATM that's not specific for your bank or credit union, you're probably paying anywhere from $2 to $4 for that transaction. And here in Las Vegas, because we have the Strip, and that's for tourists, there are certain places in town that if you go and want to use an ATM, you might even pay $5, $6 for an ATM transaction fee, which is crazy. Don't waste that money. Go to the bank or find an ATM that is affiliated with your bank or credit union. Number 39, consolidate your debt. So I have a video where I talk about how I consolidated my credit card debt, because I'm on this journey to paying off my debt, and I had credit cards with interest rates as high as 15%. And by combining them, not only did I simplify my life with only one payment, I got a reduced interest rate. My interest rate on my consolidated credit card loan is less than what my lowest interest rate was on one of my 4 credit cards. If you're interested in those videos, I'll put links to them in the description box below. Check those out. Number 40, refinance your loans. If you've made great efforts towards paying off debt and getting in a better financial position, so talk to your bank or your credit union where your loans are held through. If you have a car loan or a mortgage loan or anything like that, a signature loan, then you want to find out if they're willing to refinance you at a lower interest rate. If your credit score has gone up, then likely you are eligible for a lower interest rate. Just by refinancing my car a year after I bought it, when my credit score had gone up, I saved like 3% on my auto loan. It was amazing. Definitely get with your bank or credit union to find out if you can refinance. Number 41, a lot of people don't know that the public library has a huge selection of videos. Rather than buying new movies, which are also going to clutter up your home and take up a lot of space, go to the library for free and rent videos for the week that you and your family can enjoy. The library near my house has a huge selection, and I've done that before. The only trick is you want to make sure you return them on time, because otherwise you will have late fees. Number 42, cancel your cable. I have saved so much money by canceling cable. That is something I haven't even paid for cable in probably like 8-9 years, because it's so expensive and a lot of times you don't even watch all the channels. So go ahead and invest. Like my family, we pay for Amazon and Netflix, and that is enough variety for us to meet all of our television needs when we choose to watch television. Number 43, use shopping lists. Impulse buying is like the hugest drain probably on people's finances. Is just when you want something and you just run out and get it, or you're at the grocery store or a retail store and you get to that checkout counter and there's all these last minute things, or even while you're grocery shopping, you're strolling through the aisles and you're like, oh, I'll grab that, and oh, that would be good, and you end up buying a lot more than you would normally. So make a list and stick to it. Number 44, look for the discount section at your grocery store. At the Smiths near my house, they often have produce or certain things like that that are maybe not as fresh and new, or they're items that are nearing their expiration date, and they usually have them marked down for a really good price. So if it's something that you consume frequently, or especially if it's something that you can freeze, buy it in the discount section when you can get it at a reduced price, and either consume it right away or save it for later. Number 45, invite friends over rather than going out. If you are a very social person and you like having fun with friends, rather than going out and having a really expensive evening, go ahead and invite your friends over. Cook them a nice home-cooked meal. Maybe have a bottle of wine. Sit out on your porch. If you have a garden, that's what I like to do. I take my guests outside and we sit and enjoy the night air, cool air here in Vegas. And we have a great time, and it saves me a lot of money. Number 46, buy quality items so that they last. Like I've talked about in this video and other videos, rather than buying cheap things in bulk, like going to the thrift store and buying tons of cheap clothes, then go ahead, spend the extra money, invest in something that's going to last you a long time, and over the course of the months or years, you will actually save money by having invested in something that you're going to take more care of, that you're going to value more, and is higher quality. Number 47, this is something that I'm going to start implementing, and I'll talk more about on my channel. I'll keep you posted, and that's no spending days. This is something that I've heard about in other people's videos or channels, and I thought it sounded interesting, and that's where you pick certain days that you don't spend. And that it kind of makes you be more strategic and more thoughtful when you do spend, because you're thinking, oh, you know, I need gas or I need this, but I'm not going to spend money on these days. So that means I need to, you know, combine my trips, which is going to save you gas money because you're doing everything all out in one day, and coordinate routes so that you consume less gas. And it'll make you a lot less likely to be exposed to situations where you might impulse buy or buy something that you don't really need. Number 48 is something that I did during my wedding, which is I DIY'd my hair and my makeup. My little sister happens to be a professional performer and does a great job with those things. So rather than spending hundreds of dollars on makeup artists and hair artists, I went ahead and had my little sister help me out, and it looked super professional. Nobody would have ever known. I looked beautiful. I felt beautiful. So if you're in the process of getting married, you know, think about somebody I'm sure you know a girlfriend who's amazing at makeup and hair, and ask them to help out. Number 49, this is a unique one, and for my wedding, but this could apply for you even if if you have an annual Christmas party that you get catered or something like that. I actually worked with my caterer and I worked off my catering bill, or at least a portion of it. So I've waitressed when I was in college, when I was younger. I did a lot of waitressing. I know how to do it. It's not what I do now for a living, but I went ahead and I worked parties for him. I waitressed and worked off my catering bill. How cool is that? It's not something somebody would normally think about. And if you don't have a problem with getting your hands dirty and getting down to work, then talk to your caterer and see if he can let you swap out. Number 50, if you have a lot of guests coming into town for holidays, weddings, other celebrations, rather than paying for everybody to get hotel rooms or having all your guests have the expensive hotel rooms, it is great on certain sites. You can actually rent homes or condos, places like that, and you can rent for a much reduced price a big house where everybody can stay. It's a lot more fun because everybody's together enjoying each other. You can cook your own food there because there's a fully stocked kitchen. There might be a jacuzzi and a pool and games inside the house and other amenities that makes it for an awesome vacation, and it'll save you a ton of money. All right, that concludes items 26 through 50, my part 2 of this 50 money savings tips video series.